Hello folks, I'm back again with the latest news on the Livia Tossici-Bolt case. 63-year-old Livia was arrested, I told you this story before, in a buffer zone with the sign offering to speak if you wanted. This isn't the one that did the coercion is a crime, offering to speak if you wanted. This is another one which I did mention, and she was arrested with her sign, A4 sign, landscape, two signs saying available to speak if you want. And the buffer zone officers admit this is in court. On Wednesday, the 6th of March 2025, she had to go to court. She was arrested, investigated, found to be suspected of the crime, and was in court on the 6th. It's now the 7th, so it was yesterday, so on Thursday. And the buffer zone officers, they admit they did not personally witness any harassment before this Livia was arrested and fined for her Here to Talk sign. Livia, as I say, she's 63, is accused in court of breaching the Public Spaces Protection Order, to abbreviate it to PSPO, Public Spaces Protection Order, which installs a buffer zone around local abortion facilities. We know about these new buffer zones, and it prohibits harassment, intimidation, and engaging in an act of approval or disapproval with respect to issues relating to abortion services. Now, it's amazing that abortion has its own protective law to stop you offering help. Tossici-Bolt, this is Livia, she took the witness stand on Wednesday afternoon, explaining her motivation to hold a sign offering conversation following a period of the lockdown where social interaction has been minimal. So this was the COVID lockdowns, which went a bit longer, I believe, in Bournemouth, and she referenced the trends at the time of people offering free hugs and other social interaction on the street. Now, Livia is an Italian mother living in England. She's a British citizen, and she told the court she had had positive interactions with various groups of people while holding her sign, and they engaged with her on various issues they were facing in their lives, including from students who spoke to her about their studies and parents who spoke about their children. After one interaction, Livia recalled, she was even invited to join that individual for a cup of tea at their house. Doesn't seem to be harassment, does it, or putting stress on people? So she spoke ahead of her trial, and she said there's nothing wrong with two adults engaging in a consensual conversation on the street. I shouldn't be treated like a criminal just for this. Now, her defence, Livia's defence, is being supported by ADF International, Allied Defence. I have to admit I'm a member and I'm a supporter, and I'm a financial supporter as well of this body, and it acts on behalf of freedom of speech and especially religious freedom of speech. Now, the officers attending the scene did not personally witness any harassment that she was arrested for. Taking the witness stand on Wednesday morning, Officer Rukan Taki, that's R-U-K-N, Rukan Taki, T-A-K-I, who was employed by Bournemouth and Christchurch and Poole Council, and attended the incident, conceded that despite his belief that Livia's behaviour constituted a breach of the PSPO, he did not actually personally witness any. He didn't see her engage in any harassment or intimidation. So he still believed she was involved in intimidation, but he didn't see her do any. I mean, where does that come from? Taki also said he absolutely accepted that conversations could be held within the PSPO buffer zone, which don't amount to harassment or intimidation. Now that point that he made was confirmed by two further officers who took to the witness stand in the afternoon. He spoke on the morning. He also confirmed that being open to speaking to someone also did not amount to harassment or intimidation. So why does he believe that? And then there was. He didn't see it, and he doesn't believe that talking to someone is harassment. Later in the afternoon, Officer Francesca Alice Ozanne is Ozanne, clarified that while she witnessed Livia in the buffer zone, she did not actually see any people enter or leave the clinic, the abortion clinic. That leaves the doubt as to whether Livia could have been believed to be engaging in harassment of any services users when there wasn't any users. And yet they still arrested her, interviewed her, put her forward for a charge, went to the prosecution, and she's in court. Oh. Now, Ozanne, this is Francesca Alice Ozanne, the other officer, and Taki, the officer before, and further witnesses from the council further stated they had no recollection of any reports being made from members of the public that they'd been victims of harassment due to Olivia's presence. So if they hadn't got any complaints and they didn't see it themselves, why is she in court? The mind boggles. Unless you think this is a left-wing communist socialist government and a subservient police force doing their will. Now, this is local government, the Bournemouth Council, and they're backed by the national government, of course. Jeremiah, now I've got to spell this name carefully, but it's Igunnobole, Igunnubole, is the legal counsel from the ADF, and he's supporting Livia's defence. He's a great guy. Now, he said, under far-reaching and vaguely written rules, we have seen volunteers like Livia criminalised simply for offering to engage in consensual conversation, and others dragged through the courts for praying, even silently in their own heads. The principle of freedom of thought and speech must be defended, both within and outside buffer zones. It's unthinkable that a real crime is amounting, police time and resources are being extended and expended on peaceful individuals like Livia who simply and peacefully offer to speak. What kind of society does that? End of quote. Well, I can answer that. The kind of society that does that is an evil society which is taking away our freedom to think, the freedom to speak, the freedom to write, and the freedom to publish. Because they do not want any dissenters from their left-wing, communist-inspired, Marx and Engels-inspired ideals, which go against all traditional beliefs, go against Christianity, go against all religions as far as I can see, and go against the secular minds of the people of Britain, Scotland, Wales, England and Northern Ireland it goes against our general thinking and it goes against common sense. Now, I'm not going to say any more because I'm going to leave it up to you. Comments are always welcome, and if you like these swift updates, then please press the like button. But don't forget, for me to continue, I need you to press that subscribe button. And it doesn't cost you a penny. It doesn't cost you a cent. It doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free. So why won't you do it? Press the subscribe button and I can continue to bring you the news that other news outlets are not bringing. And I can prove everything I say. So you can challenge me. So until the next one, be safe, be kind, be good, and goodbye from David.